World Religions, Part 12. Carter and Robertson noted that the history of the world religions is intimately tied up with the history of the study of religion as an academic discipline. It emerged within the phenomenology of religion approach which placed an emphasis on the description rather than critical analysis. It integrated throughout the education system through work of scholars like Ninian Smart, who formed the SHAP Working Party on World Religions in Education in 1969. It was introduced with the intent of moving Western education away from its focus on Christianity. However, it took liberal Western Protestantism as its baseline and interpreted these different religious traditions through the framework of liberal Protestant norms and values. This indeed is our emphasis on theology as being central to a given religion. It also reflects the post-Enlightenment Christian approach of treating different religious groups as distinct, mutually exclusive categories. It thus reflects a socio-political concern in the 1960s. Britain, the environment in which it was devised, has in fact gone along with it. Well, there are criticisms against the term used, world religions. Well, the utility of world religion has experienced a sustained and rigorous critique from many scholars of religion. The scholar of religion, Graham Harvey, for instance, noted that many scholars object strongly to this term in 1978. The scholar of religion, Jonathan Z. Smith, for example, called it a dubious category. One of the major criticisms of the framework is that it is based on the model of religion that is highly reliant on using the Protestant versions of Christianity as its base example. A second criticism is that it is rooted in the discourses of modernity, including the power relations present in the modern society. Smith observed that it was constructed by Western scholars from a Western perspective. He noted that only regions that get included in it are those which have achieved sufficient power and numbers to enter our list, that is, the Western history, either to form it or interact with it or to thought it and represent important geopolitical entities with which we must deal. The framework also includes the privileging literate elites who are there in it. Many scholars of the religion have resisted efforts to challenge this entity, and as of 2016 was reported as still being widespread in the university introduced courses to study religion. Many instructors feel that explaining the critique of the world religions to the undergraduate students would be difficult, as the critique would be too complex for many of them. Some scholars have argued that the rejection of the world religions is altogether a baseless thing. Carter and Robertson presented the arguments that the continued critical use of WRP fosters a breeding group for the realistic one. Well, the knowledge on the religion, in fact, is a service to humanity as well. Many scholars who are critical of this world religion term find themselves having to teach it as a part of introductory courses for undergraduate students. Some spent much of a course teaching the concept and then several sessions after deconstructing it. Some scholars have suggested that even when the students are taught using the world religions, it could be a good means of encouraging them to think critically about the category formation. The scholar Stephen W. Rami, for instance, advocated the teaching of the term in a manner that it makes it clear that it is a constructed discourse. Similarly, Baldrick, Morone, Graziano, and Stoddard suggested that teaching to undergraduates about the world religion helps to explain students how to classify in a social act and how to identify the religions in the world.